Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the Pop Culture Junkie here, and I'm here to recap and review the results from the 2018 WWE Backlash pay-per-view. We just concluded the show. I'm currently sitting here watching the after show, Raw Talk, SmackDown Talk, whatever they're calling it now, the after part where they talk. Yeah, honestly, I'm at a loss for words. I'm going to stutter a little bit through this because I'm blown away at how easily WWE tends to just screw things up and think that they are doing things in the right way when it's like as soon as they make us feel like, hey, they're taking about 2 steps forward, they're taking about 20 steps back once they produce the show. It's ridiculous. Okay, this is just getting out of hand. The show itself started off with a lot of promise. There wasn't a whole lot of time to hype them, unfortunately, because of the hype surrounding the Greatest Royal Rumble just last week. So they really were cutting it short. So I was expecting to really put on a really awesome show to make up for the lack of build-up that they had for the matches. Unfortunately, instead of just getting some good matches and some decent storylines, so moved forward, we get a lot of the same stuff repeatedly again and again, where once again they're just gonna say, hey, you know what, we got 5, 6, 7 different guys that are super over, way over, but you know what, we're going to put our money back towards the one person that everybody does not want us to push, but eventually they will like him, okay, because he's the one we want, so they're going to like him no matter what, right? It just is bizarre. Everyone knows what I'm talking about, but you know what, we're going to get to that because that's later on in the show. Let's go ahead and recap the entire show from the very beginning, from the kickoff all the way to the main event, and we'll talk about the main event spot. So if you watched the show, hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you got some enjoyment out of it. Hopefully there were some matches you liked. But I have to say, the beginning of the show I really enjoyed. And then as the show progressed, I just started getting more confused as to what they were thinking. Let's start off, though. We got the kickoff show with the kickoff panel with Renee Young, Booker T, David Otunga, and that podcast guy that I never bothered to learn his name. They share their thoughts and opinions on who's going to win whatever matches throughout the night. We get a little surprise appearance from the Iconic Duos, or the Iconics, whatever they're called now. They gave a little annoying promo, which was entertaining, and I thought that was going to lead to them maybe being somewhat involved in a match later, but we never saw them again. That was the only time. During the kickoff, we do get a surprise match announced for Bayley versus Ruby Riott. Before that, we get a little backstage segment with Bayley and Sasha. They're still nitpicking back and forth, not really. It just seems like they don't want to go full steam with this feud. We already had a feud with them before, okay? Bayley and Sasha had an amazing feud. It's probably one of the best female feuds in NXT history. And for some reason, they seem like they just keep wanting to hit the brake and gas back and forth, back and forth. They don't know what they want to do with this. But they bicker back and forth for a little bit, and then Bayley even asks, hey, how about you come out there and be in my corner? But no, she doesn't want to be in her corner. So in this match, Bayley is out there facing Ruby Riott, who has the rest of the Riott squad of Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan. And of course, Bayley is distracted by the rest of the squad, and Ruby delivers a kick to the head and gets the pinfall and the win. So we go on to the main show. Opening match is the Intercontinental title match, Seth Rollins versus The Miz. This was easily match of the night. I feel sorry for any match that tried to follow it because there was no following it. This match was incredible. Both men are over-the-top talented, over-the-top popular with all the fans, and the fans ate into this match big time, and so did I. I really enjoyed it. I had a great time watching this match. Seth wins after kicking out of 2 Skull Crusher finales, and then finally delivers a curb stomp for the victory. Great match, great ending, and beautiful storytelling. The second match was the Raw Women's title match of Nia Jax defending against Alexa Bliss. This match, unfortunately, did not live up to the potential it could have. I like the big person versus little person story that they could have told. It just seemed like they had a lot of botched moments in the match. Nia Jax took a real nasty spill over the top rope. It looked like Nia was about to attempt a splash off the second rope, and Alexa Bliss pushes her over the ropes to the floor. Looked really bad. She hit the ring apron pretty hard, too. But it seemed like an unnecessary spot because then Alexa is having to struggle to try to get her back into the ring after doing a DDT to her on the steel steps. And it looks so bad because Nia Jax is practically helping her get herself back into the ring when she could have just laid out and gotten a count out and done that. But they progressed with the match. Nia ends up winning with a Samoa drop, and that's the end. It was a little disappointing. It could have been better. Third match of the night goes to the U.S. title match, Jeff Hardy defending against Randy Orton. This match was your typical SmackDown match. It was nothing impressive for a pay-per-view at all. Okay, this could have just been done on a weekly episode of SmackDown or Raw. But the shock for me was Jeff Hardy won after
connecting with a twist of fate, followed by a swanton, and gets a clean pin over Randy Orton. I could not believe it myself at all. How often do you ever see Randy Orton actually get pinned clean? Okay, and I'm just stunned that he was like, yeah, okay, I'll put him over clean. He never wants to put people over. I'm amazed. But I was very happy to see Jeff Hardy retain the title, and hopefully that gets Orton out of the title picture. Hopefully this goes on to where Jeff Hardy can challenge other people. I'm sure it's going to be Shelton Benjamin is going to be the next challenger, but I hope we get some other rivalries and feuds with Jeff Hardy. After this, we get a very boring segment with Elias in the ring, and I am a huge fan of Elias. Don't get me wrong. I am a big fan of Elias. I think this guy has lots of potential. I loved his match on Raw against Finn Balor. And I think he's got a shot at getting a good run as a IC champ, US champ, and then later on moving up into the top title picture. But instead, we get interrupted by New Day, who does their typical thing with instruments and pancakes, followed by Rusev and Aiden English, followed by New Way Jose, followed by Titus Worldwide coming out as well, along with the Fashion Police. I mean, it just seemed like they were looking backstage at all the other talent that they had back there that were not scheduled for matches, and they thought, hey, everyone get out there. We got to put you on the show some way. And then finally we get Bobby Roode thrown into the mix here as well. They just had to put every kind of music stuff in there together. It was so boring. It drug on and on and on. The worst part of the segment itself was after Bobby Roode enters the ring, he delivers a DDT to Elias. The crowd pops a little bit there, and then his music plays, and all the dancing and singing acts start to leave. As they walk past the New Day, everyone kind of dances in front of them, including Bobby Roode, who lifts his robe and twerks in front of the New Day. I mean, are you kidding me? This is ridiculous, okay? Bobby Roode needs to be a heel, and a serious heel, and he is your money maker right there, okay? Do not put him in these stupid comedy acts. It makes no sense. Next match, we have Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass, and the big part of this match is the fact that both of these men have not had singles matches on a pay-per-view in a very, very long time due to injury. There was a big possibility they were going to have Daniel Bryan lose so that Big Cass could get a big win over a established star, but I was very happy to see that, nope, they did the typical underdog against the big guy storyline, and Daniel Bryan connects with the yes lock, and Big Cass tapped out. Very simple match, and it was Daniel Bryan making a up-and-comer look as best as he could do, so I'm happy with what they did. After the match, of course, Big Cass attacks Daniel Bryan to the point to where Daniel Bryan is no longer able to appear on the after show where he was originally scheduled, so chances are we're going to get some kind of rematch at the next show. Next up, we have the SmackDown Women's title match. That's Carmella defending against Charlotte. This match was very entertaining. Carmella, I think, has a lot of potential, and she's doing very well. I would say this, Carmella is more established, in my opinion, than Roman Reigns. She's got an awesome character. She's amazing on the mic. She knows how to connect with the audience. Those are three big things right there that Roman Reigns is severely lacking, in my opinion. Did I mention anything about ring work just there? No. You know what? That's fine. Because if you can get those other three things going, you're set. You're good. There's other wrestlers that have been amazing in the past that did not have the best ring work, but they were able to do other things better than anyone else. So there you go, okay? I'm a big fan of Carmella. I think she's doing great, and I'm looking forward to seeing more. Now, the issue I had with this match is we're just a few weeks removed from WrestleMania, where Charlotte defeated Asuka and ended her 500-plus day undefeated streak. In this match tonight, Carmella is dazed. Charlotte goes up to the top rope to attempt a moonsault and lands on her feet, and her knee buckles, or at least that's what we're led to believe. And then Carmella kicks her from behind the back of the knee and just pins her and gets a clean pin right there in the middle of the ring over Charlotte. So Charlotte can defeat Asuka, an undefeated serious champion, serious contender, undefeated NXT champion. Yet she can get pinned just as clean like that against Carmella. That's just bad booking, bad storytelling right there. But yeah, there was your victory. There was your winner. Carmella retains the title and is still the SmackDown Women's Champion. I'm sure we're going to get some kind of rematch possibly, but honestly, I'd rather see Becky Lynch or somebody else get some times in the title matches here. Next up, we have Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles for the WWE Championship. That's right. We still have a couple of more matches to go, but we're having the WWE title match now. It's number 6 on the card. Out of 8 matches that were announced, it's number 6. Are you kidding me? This is crazy. So yes, we have the we have the WWE title match. It is a no disqualification match. Now, what does a no disqualification match mean? It means no DQs. You can't be disqualified. The match can only end via pinfall or submission. That's been the set rules for a no DQ match. You have to pin or make your opponent tap to have a declared winner. That's it. There's no countouts, okay? Because obviously a countout is the same thing as a disqualification. You can be outside the ring and be fighting all you want. The ref's not going to count you out. So the match goes for a very long time. It went over just over 20 minutes. We got to see some good spots from both men. We know both of these guys are super talented and can put on an amazing match. They weren't given as much time at WrestleMania nor the Greatest Royal Rumble. It's also, again, the third time we're seeing this match in only about a almost 4 week period. It's kind of crazy. So during the match, of course, eventually... Now keep in mind also, this was a no disqualification match. I lost track of the time of this match, but I know it was a good 10 minutes, maybe even almost 15 minutes, before they even brought in any kind of outside weapons of any sort. And you would imagine with a no disqualification stipulation, you would have some kind of, okay, let's bring in some kendo sticks, let's bring in a steel chair, let's bring in a table, a ladder, something. Okay, they got 3 announce tables at ringside. Somebody can go through one of those tables and use one to another match later, right? No, none of that happened, okay? Not until way later in the match, we finally get a steel chair brought in by Shinsuke. Eventually, Shinsuke attempts to use the chair. He lays it on the mat. He delivers a backdrop to AJ onto the chair. That was the first time you really see any kind of involvement. Then Shinsuke sets up for the Kinshasa, and unfortunately, AJ grabs the chair and chunks it at him. At the same time, Shinsuke rams his knee into the chair as it's being thrown to him, and it basically bounced directly back into AJ's face, and it looked like it knocked a chunk of skin off of his cheek. He was bleeding right away. That looked like a very hard hit, a very messy chair hit, okay? Following this, Shinsuke delivers a low blow to AJ Styles, but of course it's a no DQ match, so anything can happen, right? Anything goes. Next we see AJ Styles deliver a low blow to Shinsuke. And then what do we get? We get both men staring each other down, and they both deliver a kick to each other's balls. And they both fall to the ground, clutching their crotches. So when this happens, you expect, okay, they're going to lay there for a little while, come back up, and the match will continue, right? No, the referee begins a 10 count like it's a last man standing match all of a sudden, because neither man could rise up to their feet, and declares this a draw, and it's a double count out. How is this possible if it is a no disqualification match? This makes no freaking sense, okay? I'm trying to keep this as PG as possible, and it's not very easy because this is really making my head hurt. So we have a no DQ match, but again, it ends because 2 guys kick each other in the balls, and neither one can get back to their feet. Again, this is not a last man standing match, it is a no DQ match. But that's how they decide to end the match. So then we have the buffer match leading to the main event. That's right, because again, this was not the main event. This should have been. It's the WWE Championship match. This is the main title on SmackDown. But also keep in mind, this is the main WWE Championship belt. This is the main title belt that's been the main title belt for over 50 years. The belt lineage goes back to when Bruno Sammartino, Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold, The Rock, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, all these legends held that title. Ric Flair, all these guys held that title. It was a different looking belt, but it's still the same championship. And yet, this was not the main event, okay? This is ridiculous. But our next match is a tag match that was thrown together, basically announced on Twitter last week, I believe right at the end of Raw. And it is Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. This match made no sense to me, okay? They made Braun and Lashley look like they're the superstars, and they made Owens and Zayn look like they're jobbers just there to make the big guys look good. And of course, Owens and Zayn know how to make opponents look good. That's what they're very good at. Except these two are more over than majority of the roster. So again, makes no sense to have these guys just completely job out to Braun and Bobby Lashley. By the way, who is Bobby Lashley? So the majority of the audience watching, they have no clue who this guy is. He just showed up after WrestleMania, and we're kind of familiar with the fact that he used to work for the company. I know who he is because I've watched wrestling for over 30 years, so I know who he is. But the casual fan, they're not going to remember that he was at WrestleMania wrestling in honor of Donald Trump in a Shave McMahon's head match or whatever. They're not going to remember that. They've not done anything to establish who Bobby Lashley is. So why should he be put into this spot of having Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, who are established, Kevin Owens, former multi-champion, okay, he's won multiple titles in WWE already, And okay, let's go ahead and skip to the match itself. So the match itself, we see a tease of Owens and Zayn almost breaking up again. It again has to happen, I guess. So the match comes to an end when Bobby Lashley has Kevin Owens alone in the ring, and he delivers a suplex and then pins Kevin Owens. Yes, that's right, you heard me. He delivered a suplex and he pinned your former NXT Intercontinental United States Universal Champ Kevin Owens with a suplex. Let that sink in now. After the bell rings and the match has ended, Braun grabs Owens, delivers his running power slam. He grabs Sami Zayn, delivers the running power slam. His music hits, and then they leave. They basically ended the match to make the crowd happy because everyone wanted to see Braun do something destructive. Okay, so now we go to the main event spot of the night. I call it the spot because this was far from the main event match. But this is the main event spot, as in it's the last match on the card. And it is Samoa Joe from SmackDown versus Roman Reigns. This match, of course, has had a little bit more of a build, thanks to the awesome promos from Samoa Joe. Not so much from Roman, of course. Roman comes out, and I kid you not, as soon as his music hits, you hear the entire arena boo him like crazy. It's almost like they completely booed over his theme music. You couldn't even hear it for a moment. Samoa Joe comes out, of course, gets a big reaction. The match begins, and here we go. We got boring chants, we have CM Punk chants, we have Rusev Day chants. I mean, really, at what point do you finally go, you know what? Maybe this isn't working. Maybe we need to finally listen to the audience and put our money and our focus behind somebody else that's already over. I don't care if it's Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman, okay? You have all this other talent. Heck, The Miz, okay? You have all these other talented superstars at your disposal to push and make your company profitable, and yet you still want to put your focus and money behind somebody that the audience completely has rejected. And I mean, they have rejected him more, I think, than they ever rejected John Cena. And a lot of people think, oh, well, it's just because, John Cena was the one they pushed and the crowd didn't like him because of this reason, but it's just the same thing. No. The booking of Roman Reigns has been completely horrible, especially in the last 3 years. Okay? The audience does not want this. They need to change course. It's time, okay? Enough is enough. So they have a back and forth match. Samoa Joe attempts his sleeper hold multiple times, and just when you think almost Roman is going to almost tap out, nope, instead he finds his way to the ropes. Audience boos. By the way, if you were looking in the audience at all, you could see people getting up and leaving during this match. Kid you not, you could see people leaving the arena because they were done. They were like, this is it? This is what we're stuck with for the main event? Nope, we're out of here. Maybe people had to leave early because it's a school night and whatnot, but no, I kid you not, there were people leaving. You could see them walking up the steps. The match ends, of course, with Roman Reigns delivering a very poorly executed spear, and he gets the pin and the win, and that's it. Samoa Joe is your loser, Roman Reigns is your winner, the crowd boos, and the music hits super loud so that you hopefully can't hear the boos, but we still do, and then they sign off. So there you have it. That is the 2018 WWE Backlash pay-per-view. I've ranted and vented a little bit. I've kept it as clean as I possibly could, but if you want to hear my personal direct opinions, contact me on Twitter and I'll be sure to share them with you. This was ridiculous, though. I don't understand it. I really just don't get why they cannot get over themselves and say, you know what, we tried, we failed, okay? Hey, Vince, you tried that world bodybuilding thing about 25 years ago. It failed. You tried the XFL. It failed. Yeah, you're trying to bring it back next year. We'll see what happens there. But hey, it happens. You try, you fail, you try something else, okay? That's how you succeed, is you continue to advance and try something different. You don't just keep feeding us the same thing and say, eventually they're going to say, you know what, okay, fine, if it, because you pushed him 5th time, 6th time, okay, the 12th time, now we'll like the guy. Okay, no, and it, unfortunately it is not Roman Reigns the person, and it's not Roman Reigns himself, okay, that is making the crowd turn on him so much. It is the horrible booking, it is the terrible booking decisions that they have for how they are pushing his character. They need to turn him heel or do something different, okay? They tried bringing back the Shield to get him some attention and fan favoritism, but it didn't work, even though the Shield didn't last that long last year because of injuries. It still did not work. They've tried to put him in different matches and scenarios. They've put him in mixed matches with other superstars that are over. It's not going to work, okay? Just give it up. All right, guys and gals, I've vented and ranted enough. I'm sure some of you didn't even stick around to the end of this because I just kept ranting and venting, but it's just so frustrating to see this and to know just how awesome wrestling can be and to see the kind of talent that they have in their company and to still be this upset or to be this bothered by it. It boggles my mind because we know that wrestling can be awesome. We know that wrestling can be fun, entertaining. It's just amazing that they want to challenge themselves to do things when that can be done so easily another way and enjoyable. So that's my 2 cents there. If you want to hear more, you know how to get a hold of me. All right, guys and gals, I hope you enjoyed the show if you did watch it, and I thank you for listening to my results and recap. Remember, as always, follow along with me on Twitter at PopCultureJunk2. Anytime there is a WWE pay-per-view, I'm always live tweeting. And if you didn't follow along with me yet, go ahead and get on Twitter now. You can see all my quotes and comments from tonight's show. Thanks again for watching and listening. I'll see you guys next time. This is the Pop Culture Junkie. I'm signing out.